Micro savings groups, popularly known as chamas, are utilized by 41% of Kenyan adults, while traditional bank accounts are held by only 32% of the population. Economic experts often stress the unreliability of the informal groups and the risk of losing money, especially when the members of the group default. Also, the failure to have a clear objective for the chama will guarantee failure of the investment group. On Moolah Insider this week, we tell you how new online apps have come in to bring transparency and protect members' savings and investments. My name is Margaret Wahito. But before then, we start with our word of the week. And our word of the week is bonds. Now, bonds are investment securities where an investor lends money to a company or government for a set period of time in exchange for regular interest payments. Once bonds reaches maturity, the bond issuer returns the investor's money. And now on to our key highlights. This week, East African Breweries Limited 11 billion shillings bond started trading at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. EABL said its 11 billion medium-term note issue was oversubscribed by more than 3 times. Investors bid a total of 37.9 billion shillings in the issuing round, representing an oversubscription of 275%. The 5-year fixed rate instrument is offered at an interest rate of 12.25% payable semi-annually. The offer was opened on October 6 and closed on October 21 this year. Employees will now be compensated for hospital bills incurred whenever their employees fail to remit their NHIF contributions if the current Act amendments are approved by President. Members of Parliament have amended the National Hospital Insurance Fund Act, a move aimed at protecting workers in private businesses, county governments and even state agencies. At the moment, NHIF suspends medical cover for workers when the employers continue to default, forcing them to go back to their pockets and foot expensive medical bills. The current NHIF Act of 1998 currently does not compel employers to compensate their workers when their insurance is suspended for non-remittance, a gap that has left employees exposed. And now to our main story of the week. According to Financial Sector Deepening Kenya, there are an estimated 300,000 chamas which control up to a total of 300 billion shillings in assets. However, most of these groups continue to face numerous challenges due to their informal nature, with the major one being losing money through poor investment decisions, lack of objective, poor funds management, and others. This week, we tell you how new online apps have come in to help and improve the governance of these chamas and ensuring transparency among the members. Let's take a look. Edwin Njoguna's dream to venture into agribusiness 5 years ago was cut short after the treasurer of his first ever chama took off with members' contributions. Njuguna, who is currently a community health volunteer in Kawangware and Dagoretti areas of Nairobi, is among many Kenyans who have suffered this kind of loss in their quest to achieve their financial goals.
I was just a newbie in the chama business, so I didn't know a lot about it. So our treasurer at that time vanished with the entire amount. Initially, I didn't have enough capital to start my own project. I wanted to start a poultry farm. So I wanted to accumulate my resources so that I can be able to start the project. She went with the money, so I was not able to start it.
However, 3 years later, he got courage to join another one, but this time as the founder.
The first chama that I joined was not of my age, let's say the youths. But this one, I started with the youths. So people, we have common ideas and we can share the same ideas together. The name of the chama is the Bridge of Hope Youth Group, and normally we meet on every Sunday. We do table banking, merry-go-round, and currently we have a project, a poultry farm project.
A chama is an informed micro-saving group or cooperative society that is normally used to pool and invest savings. And due to their informal nature, many Kenyans continue to lose money, just like Njuguna. Some of the main reasons why many of these micro-savings groups continue to fail is due to lack of rules and regulations, mistrust among members, poor leadership, lack of clear investment objectives, and rushing into new investments. This is why technology through online management apps have come in to help.
I think technology has then enabled more people to play in that ecosystem where you are able to meet and contribute money even with no limitations on geographical settings of where we are. You now have chamas of people who are scattered all over Kenya, but they're in one chama and they're able to contribute and trust each other as long as that transparency is built in. And that has only been enabled by technological advancement in mobile and internet.
Apart from Malipo Sacco's app, other online chama management apps in Kenya include ChamaSoft, Easy Chama, ChamaNet, Tekeleza, and DigiChama. And this is how they operate.
Once your officials set up the chama, okay, they invite all members onto the platform. And the rules are set up on how you manage your chama. How do you do your contributions, monthly, weekly? Do you offer credit to each other? Because a lot of chamas already do micro-lending solutions, okay? Because that's where members borrow and then they can repay. So Malipo digitizes all that process and it is transparent to all members of the chama. Each member gets a notification. Each member can apply for a loan or make a contribution from wherever they are. And that is visible to every single person that's part of it. That's how we bring transparency onto the ecosystem so that everyone participates in how the chama is run.
According to Financial Sector Deepening Kenya, there are estimated 300,000 chamas in Kenya which control up to a total of 300 billion shillings in assets. However, 13% of the members in these chamas have lost money due to poor leadership.
Let's say you are the treasurer of the chama. So we all send you the cash, okay? And from there, we expect you to go bank it. And we never know until the day you give us statements is when we know, hey, we've been getting money or not. And two members can be getting loans from the chama, nobody else knows, and they never pay the interest. And therefore, the chama kitty never grows to be able to enable the chama to spread its wings and start a business that they can do together or anything like that.
Well-managed chama groups have grown beyond the usual merry-go-round to registered companies and investment firms. Some of the safer areas chamas can invest in and grow their money include government debt through treasury bills or bonds, unit trusts like money market funds, and buying shares. You're watching Moolah Insider, and to watch our previous episodes, please remember to log on to www.moolah.co.ke or link with us on our social media pages. Next is Pursuits.
My first car, I'll never forget, was just when I finished campus. And I bought it because one of the pressures I was having is that the name Nameless was becoming really big and everyone has expectations. Hey, Nameless, who's Nameless, what? And at that time, I still don't have a car, you know, because people are still not paying that much for entertainment. But the names were growing. 2000, right? My name is just growing. 2001, 2002 now, my name grew nationally because of Inanoki. 2003, Boomba with Issa, now I'm like, yo, now who's this Nameless guy? And I'm like, okay, now I can't be seen in the bus, man. So I felt pressure. I'm like, man, I have to invest in something. But I didn't have that much money. And that's when I got a second-hand sports car. You know the ones that have the yeah. It was a Levine Toyota, white one. And then I remember the number was 455H. And then it had another exhaust, right? So when I'm driving in any estate, you must know, hey, this guy is coming. It was a big story in the record label. Like, Nameless has bought a car, like music can pay. Like, before we always used to see music is just passion, you enjoy yourself, but you can't really make money from it. I was giving the story of how someone who bought land at that time, at the same price that I got to find out in 2014, his land was like 12 million, like the land he bought for 300,000, and of course me, my Levine of 300,000 was now probably valued at 50K somewhere, and sold it to the third user. And it hit me in two ways, because there's a school of thought that says, for your line of business, you had to do that. And then there's the other school of, wow, but this line of business can make you make some decisions that are also not very, So pretty early on, I said, how do I make sure I can balance, where I can still be able to do this, but still make sure I invest? So my brand was not about showing too much, because I feel like the more I show too much, the more I have to keep showing, you know. So I just kept my brand to be more around the music, more around that vibe, not about showing I own this, forward, so that I can now invest without, you know, public opinions. The advantage is that you can actually make chunks of money, as opposed to like a salary that's, you know, every month you can, you know, get a deal. So you can actually have investments like real estate investments or stocks, and then a bit of real estate, because I'm also interested, of course, in that. So with land or what, because I always find it's like the safest. I would prefer investment that don't require me to be there too much. That's why I prefer things like real estate. Yeah. Within my career, I did open studios. So it was obviously doing jingles. So I started doing that, and we recorded a few artists. But I closed that business after some time, and then went more into audio, because I was doing audio visual. The audio, I depended too much on the producer, because I'm not a producer. So it didn't work with that. I did just a visual production, and that one was touching on different things. I started off saying, how can I get into NGO world, you know, and do some documentaries on that, but using our skills and knowledge in entertainment and understanding the market. So I kept switching from that, and then now I moved my production company to just doing documentaries and music videos. I was doing that because I had a passion for directing. I'd also done school on directing, so I made videos, not only ours, but a couple of artists. But now later on, I combined my other passion in architecture. So I started approaching companies that are building big ones, and I record and shoot their construction stories. So those are the kind of like companies I have that are always within my gifts and passion. If you want to supplement your income, you know, with something you're doing, maybe you're doing this job, depending on whether you like it or not, but depending on why you want to do something else. You either want to do it because you want to supplement your more income, or you want to do something that maybe is yours. You feel this is my thing, you know? One thing I'd advise is to try and really get something that you're passionate about. Whatever side hustle you're going to do, don't just do it because, oh, that guy did that thing and it was working. Quail eggs, I'm going to make, or farming. Try and really look at the things that you're passionate and gifted in.
And after pursuits, we now look at the leading indicators this week, starting with the stocks and the foreign exchange. Now next, we look at the prices of basic commodities this week. Now that's all we had for you this week on Moolah Insider. To watch our previous episodes, please remember to log on to www.moolah.co.ke or link with us on our social media pages. My name is Margaret Wahito. See you next week.